All right, greetings class and welcome to week number 2. That is right, week number 2 of your 9443 class, which is your academic libraries class. As always, I'm your professor, Dr. Jace K. Austin, and what we are going to do this week is a state of the course update with our check-in video, and then also we are going to quickly talk about 2 common APA mistakes, because you will be required to do your assignments in this class, your major assignments. I'll show you which assignments I'm going to be taking off for if you don't do your APA properly. But there are a couple of assignments where, yes, you have to do your APA properly. But the discussion boards are not among those assignments. So I want that to be clear, and we will revisit that. By the way, you can always speed these videos up. But let's go ahead and get into this state of the course update. If I can keep the state of the course update around 7 minutes, and then do the APA thing in 13 minutes, then we should be all good to go. Hopefully we can keep this at 20 minutes. Another thing that I want to say really quickly is that if you've had a class with me before, then there's really nothing new to the excuse me. If you've taken a class with me before, then there's really nothing new to this APA 2 common error update. You've seen it before. I do it in every single class, every single semester. And I say that just to say, once I get past the course update to the common APA mistakes, if you do not want to watch that again because you already know it, that is fine. There will not be any new information coming to you if you have had a class with me before. However, if you have not had a class with me before and you are not 100% sure that you know how to do APA properly, then yes, I suggest that you watch this video so that you can get your APA right, because I will be checking off or counting off if it is wrong on a couple of our assignments. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump into things. The first thing that I want to note is that your for the first week, your discussion board prompts, which I'm still kind of going through, your responses and everything, but they look good for the most part. So I think that everybody is on the right track. I think everybody is doing the level of work that I am expecting. And so what I would say is just continue that level of work. And if there is an issue with the quality of your discussion board posts, I will probably send you a message just letting you know, hey, this isn't going to cut it. But so far, so good, and hopefully that will be the case throughout the remainder of the course and throughout the remainder of the discussion board posts that were done in the first week, which, again, I am still combing through. But I am enjoying them so far. This week, we are going to be focusing on academic library history, and I see several of you have actually already done your discussion board post for this second week about academic library history. I really hope that you find this interesting, because my hope is that if you are excited and interested about the past of academic libraries, then you will be among the people who is willing to make academic libraries great in the future. So I don't know, probably over romanticizing that just a tad bit, but again, I am pleased with the enthusiasm that I've seen so far with so many of you already having done your week 2 discussion board prompt, and it's only Tuesday. And again, I hope this kind of enthusiasm, hard work, punctuality, and so forth continues throughout the rest of the semester. Keep it up. You all are doing a great job. I also want to bring to your attention 2 assignments. I'm recording this on August the 29th. You may not see it until August the 30th or later. But 2 things that I want to bring to your attention, things that are going to be due in September, are attend the September 12th sync session. I have contacted our potential speakers, and hopefully we'll have one of them confirmed by the end of the week. I'm just waiting for that person to get back to me. But we're going to have a sync session on September the 12th. Attendance is mandatory. It is 5 points. That is a big deal. So yes, make sure you are here for that. You do not want to miss the sync sessions, and the sync sessions are for you. So, I hope that there is some appreciation for that. And then also your review of an academic library website, that is also due in September. That will be due on September the 17th. So a few days after that sync session. So hopefully I'll get a chance to remind you all prior to the sync session that that will be coming due soon. Also, yes, this is one of the assignments that I was talking about. For the Academic Library website review, you are going to need to cite in APA, and your APA does need to be proper. I will take off points if your APA is not formatted correctly. So make sure you get it formatted properly. And again, don't overestimate your skills. If you are not sure whether or not you know how to cite an APA properly, then definitely watch the remainder of this video. And then also you may also just want to browse around and find some other citation resources that can help you out with that. And another thing that I want you all to kind of keep in mind or be aware of is that citation software, so things like Zotero and all of these other citation softwares that you can get, Mendeley and all of these various things, you still need to check over them. One of the things that happens when I can't offer people is they will come back and tell me, oh, well, you know, I just put it in Zotero, or I just put it in this, that, and the other, and it was fine. So then I copied and pasted it back into here. Those citation software tools are not 100% accurate. You are going to have to go over them and make sure they are all right. Do due diligence. D-O-D-U-E, diligence. Okay? All right. So I will quickly mention, since we are already on the subject, that there are other assignments that also need to be formatted properly into APA. And those assignments are going to be your final case study. Let me see how much APA is worth on that one. Writing and citations, so that can be up to 5 points. And then if we come back over here, there is also that one. Let's say assignment 1. And for this assignment right here, APA can count for up to 4 points, okay? So it's a pretty big deal as far as the written assignments that you will be turning in this class. Make sure, again, that your APA is formatted properly or you will lose points. But again, we are not worried about APA being formatted properly in the discussion board the discussion board prompts, because those are a little bit more informal. All right, so let's go ahead and look at those 2 common APA mistakes, because I want 100% of you all to avoid making these mistakes. I never had that happen. Hopefully you all will be the first to pull it off. So again, let's go into, first of all, let's make these small here. And let's go to, first of all, I do want you all to know that what you can do is kind of, not that way. So for those of you who may have been out of school for a while or something of that nature, the Purdue OWL is a free resource that helps you with formatting citations properly. And so for my class, the Purdue OWL will actually suffice. You do not need to buy the APA style manual. If you want to, that's fine, or if you have access to it at your library, that is fine. But you actually do not need to buy the APA citation style guide. You can just use the Purdue OWL APA citation resources, and that will get you through this class just fine. So to get to the Purdue OWL APA, all you have to do is go to Google and do Purdue OWL APA, just as I've done here, and it will bring you here, general format, and we will go right in. So there are 2 things, again, 2 very, 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 very common mistakes that students always make. And every semester I record check-in videos telling students, okay, don't do this. But I also make the check-in videos optional. And so, yeah, usually it's somebody who doesn't watch the check-in video that will turn around and do exactly what I said don't do. So hopefully you all will avoid this pitfall, but I guess we will have to wait and see. So you have a general format, and one thing that I want you all to know, and this is something that you all are going to, again, be graded on, it's something that I'm going to be watching out for, is you do not write out first names or middle names in a reference list. I repeat, you do not write out first names or middle names in a reference list. So for instance, my name is Jason Kelly Austin. If you are citing me, you are going in a reference list for APA. You are going to put Austin, comma, J, period, space, K, period. So it's not Austin, comma, Jason Kelly. It is Austin, comma, J, period, K, period. And as you will be able to see, and we are going to go down this list right here, or down this page, I should say. At no point are you seeing anybody write out the first or middle name of the authors for the reference list. Ahmad, comma, S, Soto, comma, CJ, John, comma, OP, Nguyen, comma, T, Carnival, comma, JJ, so forth and so on. P. John, K, Kirkman, BP, Becker, E, and so forth and so on. You do not see a first name or middle name written out anywhere here. So that is proper APA format. Now, I've had somebody complain in a teaching evaluation before that I was too nitpicky when grading citations. Look, you all need to do things right. I don't know what else to say except do things correctly. All right, some of you are going to be in situations as librarians where people are going to be relying on you for help with citations. So yes, it is good to know at least the basic nuances of the major citation styles, APA, MLA, Chicago, and it is good to do it right, especially if you are going to be somebody who is going to be helping people with citations, or if you are going to be somebody who, especially if you are going to be an academic librarian, and this is the academic libraries class, you may be publishing, and part of your job, if you are an academic librarian, a lot of the times is publishing and presenting. Academic librarians are usually graded on, or I should say evaluated on, 40% teaching or librarianship, 40% scholarship and publications, so creative output, and then 20% service. And I say that to say, yes, when you are publishing things as an academic librarian, your editor is not going to want to have to correct a bunch of stuff because you think that it's nitpicky when somebody makes you do your citation properly. Okay? Let's be adults. That's all I can say about that. So yes, again, I'm going to wrap it up when I say this, but I want to just drill it in your heads. You only write out the first name. You only write out the last name in a reference list. And for the first and middle names, you do initials. All right. Now, this is, again, strictly for the reference list, and this is specific to APA. All right, let's go in and look at the second common mistake that students often make. And again, I want you to avoid this mistake. So the second thing is a capitalization issue. And when we talk about capitalization within reference lists in APA, we are talking about something that is quite a bit different from what you will find in standard English. I don't know what you call standard English. What do you call it? Like King James English or whatever. The Queen's English. I don't know. But what I can tell you is the capitalization scheme for titles of articles and books and web pages tends to be a little different within APA reference lists from what you would expect in normal prose. Let's take a look at an example. So if you go here, and again, you may want to keep the Purdue OWL handy so that you don't have to necessarily commit all of this to exact memory, but you will be able to know where to go if you need a refresher. So I'm going to go to reference list books. Here is what I want you all to be aware of, because I will be counting off on this if you get it wrong in any of your three formal written assignments. So first of all, basic format for books, you see, again, those initials and everything, but here's where I actually want to go. When you're working with a book, you do not capitalize every major word in the book title. You capitalize the first word of the title. You capitalize the first word of the subtitle, and then you capitalize any proper nouns, and that's it. Everything else should be lowercase. So you all, I'm sure, already know in normal, typical English prose, work would be capitalized here, letter would be capitalized, also, and subtitle would also be capitalized, but you see they're lowercase there. And that is how you do this in a reference list. So let's look at some examples. We'll scroll down. Now, the thing is, great is still Alexander the Great. This is all a proper noun, so that's why great is capitalized there. So Alexander the Great is all a proper noun. However, even improper nouns, if an article, those types of things, if an article is not beginning the title or the subtitle, then that is still lowercase, even if it is part of a proper noun. So Alexander the Great is a whole proper noun. However, the is still lowercase. If the were at the beginning, you would capitalize it, but since it's not, it's in lowercase. Great is capitalized as part of the proper noun, but as you can see, this is the subtitle, and life is lowercase, legend is lowercase. Let's continue scrolling down. So this is a book title. A New Companion to Mallory. You see the only words that are capitalized are A and Mallory. New and companion are lowercase. And as you scroll down further in this, you'll see the same things going on throughout it. Book title, writing your journal article in 12 weeks. Writing is the only word that's capitalized. So again, I want you all to bear in mind, students get this wrong all the time. I do this check-in video every single semester, usually in week 2 or week 3, where I'm explaining to students, hey, this is what APA does. And still, a lot of people get it wrong and I count off. So you have been warned. Now, let's look at articles and periodicals because they work a little differently. So when you have articles in periodicals, what's going on is the title of your periodical actually will follow normal capitalization rules, believe it or not. So this gets really complicated. The New Criterion is the name of a periodical, and as you can see, the New and Criterion are all capitalized. If we scroll down, we'll see again normal capitalization rules. Purdue Journal of Service Learning and International Engagement. This is a periodical, and as you can see, the only words that are lowercase are of and. Now, things get a little different when you're looking at the title of the article, not the title of the publication or the title of the periodical, but the title of the article within it. That is when you will go back, and this is the same, whether it's newspapers, whether it's journals, or whether it's magazines. This is always going to be the same as far as your article title does follow those same rules that the book titles follow. So as you can see here, data and experience design and design are lowercase. This is your subtitle after the colon. Negotiating is capitalized, and it's the only word that's capitalized. And as you can see, all of these other words are lowercase. If we scroll down, we're going to see the exact same thing, continuing on and on and on. So you can see tell is capitalized. I, of course, is capitalized because that's what you do with I when, when it is a word. And understanding is capitalized, but everything else is lowercase. But you will see the name of the publication, Writing Center Journal, every word capitalized like you would see in normal prose. Better late than never. That is an article title, and you can see that better is the only word that's capitalized. Time is capitalized because that is the publication title. Now, I'm very strict when it comes to doing this properly for your books and your articles. I give a little more leeway with the electronic resources because they're a little more tricky. However, it is still the case that I'm expecting you to do the best. I'm expecting you to do as best as you can, try to get it right. But if there are errors due to the inconsistencies on the electronic resources page, I will give a little bit of leeway for that because this can get confusing. But generally speaking, what goes on in this case is that the site name and the page name both follow this type of scheme, right? So actually, let's find a better example here. I really don't like how this is done with I don't like how this is done with web pages. I just don't. So laziness does not exist. You can see that laziness is the only word capitalized. However, medium is the only word in the site name, so medium is capitalized. However, if there was a that's, again, these are not great examples. Budget Bytes. See, they have all of these sites where the sites have one word titles, and that is something that can be tricky to people. See, Wikipedia, they do it again. So yeah, I'm gonna have a little more leeway, but technically with your websites, titles of pages are italicized, but follow this funky capitalization scheme where, again, you're doing the first word of the title, first word of the subtitle, and proper noun. And then the site also does the same thing, but the site does not go in italics. The page goes in italics, but not the site. Okay, so I know that can get confusing. I am a little bit over 20 minutes, but I hope you sped this up. And we are still under 22 minutes, so we are going to wrap this up. I am Dr. Chase, and we are going to one day finish this academic libraries race that we are racing together. Stay tuned. You're doing a great job. I'll see you next week for a check-in video, but there will not be a check-in video on the week of September 11th because you have a guest speaker on September the 12th. Talk to you all soon. Thank you. Thank you for being a great class. I'm enjoying it. And again, we'll see you next week.